Harper Audio presents Pleasures of a Notorious Gentleman by Lorraine Heath, performed by Anne Flosnik. Prologue. April 1854. Stephen Lyons loved women. Tall, short, plump, slender, young and not so young, he loved them all. He loved most whichever woman was presently keeping him company. He teasingly referred to her as Fancy, because she was a fancy bit of work. The illegitimate daughter of a duke, she intended to follow in her mother's footsteps and seek out a protector. While she was well aware he would not accommodate her in that regard, she knew his notorious reputation well enough to be assured he would provide her with an education in pleasure that would see her in good stead. The numerous weeks of secret trysts had not been in vain. She now possessed talented hands and a wicked mouth, but had kept him pleasantly occupied until dawn. "I'm going to miss you so frightfully much," she said, fanning her ebony hair out over the pillow, stretching languorously across the rumpled bed in a Spartan room of the tavern where she'd joined him the evening before. "You'll be warming another gent's bed before nightfall," he said distractedly, standing at the window buttoning his scarlet jacket. He thought it should have bothered him that her silence acknowledged the truth. They meant little more to each other than an evening's delightful entertainment. He never promised a woman more than he could deliver, never took one to his bed without her clear understanding that she would never have him beyond the sheets. He was grateful Fancy wasn't making a fuss, that she was already acknowledging that he would no longer be in her life. Change was on the wind, and he welcomed its arrival. Exhilaration thrummed through his veins at the prospect of the escapades awaiting him once he departed this room. From his vantage point 2 flights up he could see the crowds lining the street, could hear their raised voices as they sang "The Girl I Left Behind Me," while the regimental band pounded out the tune. With an excitement vibrating on the air as the sun peered over the horizon, the soldiers marched through in an undisciplined style that would be overlooked by their superiors. Who could blame them for their heady anticipation as they made their way to the railway station and the first leg of a journey that would deliver them to the Crimea? Adventure awaited, honor, and Russian women. Stephen could delay no longer. It was long past time he joined them. He crossed over to the bed and planted a lingering kiss on Fancy's luscious mouth, plump lips that excelled at bringing a man unbridled pleasure. When he drew back, he gave her a devilish grin. "Thanks, darling, for the lovely farewell. Take care of yourself when you return." He touched her lips, silencing a promise that neither of them would be destined to keep. "Your allegiance will be to your protector. With my leaving, our time together is past, but I shall never forget you, Fancy, or the jolly good fun we had." "I've no doubt you say that to all the ladies." He didn't deny her accusation. It was the most precious gift he gave each of his paramours, the belief that she was the one he would reminisce about when the devil came to collect him for his sins. Reaching up, she flattened her hand against his chest. "In my dreams you will continue to do wicked things to me." He gave her his most dashing grin. "In mine as well." Then he kissed her again for good measure, before rushing out the door, down the stairs, and into the massive people who were celebrating as though Great Britain had just claimed victory over the Russians, rather than having only recently declared war on the blighters. The regiment had been preparing for their departure for some time now, far too many new recruits, still fresh-faced and eager, confident that success in this campaign would come swiftly. "Captain!" a young man shouted at him, grabbing his attention. "Mathers!" With long, confident strides, Stephen fell into step beside him. The onlookers had taken up the tune of another ditty, somehow managing to cheer, clap, and wave at the same time, all with an enthusiasm that instilled confidence and belief in their cause. Boys ran alongside them, dreaming of the day when they could join them. Men clapped their shoulders, reached out to shake their hands. Women blew kisses at them. Ah! When they returned victorious, doors to many a bedchamber would open for those who arrived to a hero's welcome. Stephen
Sample complete. Ready to continue?